The National Broadcasting Company presents the National Football League. Today, from the Astrodome, it's the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Houston Oilers. Brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Budweiser. Beechwood aged with that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by AT&T, the right choice.
Last Sunday night in the Astrodome, Warren Moon scored from 3 yards out to put Houston ahead of Pittsburgh 34-31. But then the Steelers came back, an 80-yard touchdown drive in 80 plays. Brister to Hodge from 16 yards out, the touchdown with 20 seconds left. The Steelers upset the Oilers 37-34. The Cincinnati Bengals have been led all year by Boomer Esiason, the #1 quarterback in the National Football League, and Eddie Brown is his favorite receiver. Today, it's a showdown in the Central Division. Cincinnati with a 2-game lead over Houston and Cleveland. The earliest sellout crowd of the year here in the Astrodome today. For the Cincinnati Bengals, as they come to the final 2 games, 2 wins, they have the division title and home field advantage as long as they are in the playoffs. For the Houston Oilers, 2 wins, possible division title, a cinch of the wild card, and home field advantage for a wild card. Hello, everybody. I'm Charlie Jones, along with Jimmy Cefalo, and as Gail Gardner said, it was a devastating loss here in the Astrodome Sunday night for the Houston Oilers.
It certainly was. Some observers have said that Oiler players did not forget that loss until Thursday. It's a very young Houston team. What they've got to learn is that in this league, in the NFL 16-game season, you've got to forget a loss just as quickly as a win. That has to happen on Monday morning.
It's also a very important game for Cincinnati.
It certainly is. Home field advantage throughout the playoffs might be at stake. Now, if you look into the history of the league, the past 13 AFC champions, 10 have won that title on their home turf. That's why it's important for Cincinnati.
And who would ever forget, of course, the home field advantage for Cincinnati after the 1981 season against San Diego, championship game, minus 59 degrees, wind chill factor. But today, of course, we are indoors, and this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. The Houston Oilers winning the toss. You saw Alan Pinkett, who will be the deep back on the return. Lee Johnson at one time in his career with the Houston Oilers, kicking off for the Cincinnati Bengals. And he goes to the far side, and that is Renzo White on the return. Last time he returned a kickoff, he went for a touchdown. This time, he returns to the neighborhood of the 25-yard line. And we'll take a look at the offense for the Houston Oilers, led by this man, Warren Moon, with Mike Rozier, Alonzo Highsmith, Drew Hill, Ernest Gibbons, and Jamie Williams, the receivers. That offensive line of Davis, Munchik, Pinnison, Mathis, and Dean Steinkuhler. Matthews, excuse me, let me make that correction. Houston going to work at their own 25-yard line, first down. Here. 3 yards to the 28-yard line, second down and 7, and he is stopped by Joe Kelly.
Charlie, the center, as we take a look at the defensive front for the Bengals, Tim Krumrie anchors this Bengal team, number 69 for the defense. In the middle of the field, it's very odd that a nose tackle would lead a squad in making tackles. He's done it the last 3 years. Here he is right in the middle of the pile again, taking down Rozier. The reason it's tough is because clubs usually double and triple team nose tackles, but Krumrie, with that lineup of linebackers behind him, has really been a force for the Bengals this year.
Rozier now, the remaining back. They're going to mark it to the 29, so it is second down and 6. And Rozier on the draw, shut out left side, picks up the first down as he comes back to the right. And his momentum is going to carry him to the 41-yard line, a gain of 12, first down.
Charlie, this Houston offensive front is very large, very big, averaging 292 pounds. The hole, watch it open up back to the right. It's scheduled to go to the left side of the line of scrimmage, but Rozier, with his Good form, cuts back to the right behind a large offensive line, picks up the first down. Houston is going to want to try and run the football as much as possible to keep Boomer Esiason off of the field.
4 wide receivers, Rozier the remaining back. Gibbons in motion. Moon to throw, has pressure. Rolls away from it, looks for a block. He has one, and in reality is saving the loss by throwing the ball away. It goes, and an incomplete pass. Steinkuhler coming back to pick off a Cincinnati Bengal. It'll be 2nd down and 10. That offensive line, there's a lot of bulk there.
Yeah, 293 pounds the average. There's also 3 first-round draft choice there in Steinkuhler, Matthews, and Munchak. So a very strong offensive line, one of the reasons why Houston is 3rd in the AFC in rushing.
The head coach of the Houston Oilers, Jerry Glanville. Houston's record is 9-5. The notorious man in black. They can find him on the sideline. 2nd down and 10. He's a lot of fun. I get a big kick out of Jerry. Rozier again shut out up the middle. This time jumps to the right across the 50, Cincinnati 49-yard line. Be about a yard shy of the first down. David Fulcher with the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 1. That is Brent Peace, number 10, the backup quarterback to Warren Moon. Situation substitution for Cincinnati as they make their defensive changes. Rozier 3 carries and 25 yards already. And we're just 2.5 minutes into the ballgame. Highsmith back in on offense. So it is Highsmith and Rozier in the backfield. Rozier bobbles the ball. Cincinnati says they have it, and they do. Big turnover early in the ballgame. And Leon White comes up with a recovery.
A nice block by Highsmith on the corner, but it was Rozier who didn't form a pocket for Moon. He seemed to be trying to grab after the football. That was the mistake that Rozier made, and another turnover for Houston. They've had their problems in the past with it.
And they had their problems against Cincinnati earlier this year. The offensive look of the Bengals, Esiason, Brooks, Woods, McGee, Brown, and Holman. And to look at the line, Munoz, Reimers, Kozerski, Montoya, Walter. Following a turnover, Cincinnati likes to go deep to strike immediately. Will they do it now? First part of the ballgame.
They like to roll Boomer out to the left to go downfield to Brown is on this side of the formation.
And they'll run McGee underneath the coverage. Little play action fake to all the linebackers. He wants to go deep. And the pass is complete to the 31-yard line. There's a flag drop back at the 43. Eddie Brown made the reception to mark the play to the 33-yard line, but they're going to bring it back.
Holding 78 offense. First down.
On Anthony Munoz.
Eddie Brown runs this pattern as well as anyone. What he's doing is trying to hold off the pattern until the receiver on the other side, Tim McGee, clears the safety out of the middle of the field. You see McGee going past? That's what Brown is looking at out of the corner of his eye. When he sees the middle is cleared, then he makes his turn in.
The next thing Cincinnati likes to do is get James Brooks involved in the offense.
They put him in motion and use him either as a lead blocker or put him into the pattern.
And he's in motion. It is tipped in the air. It is incomplete. It is going to be 2nd down and 20. It is Richard Byrd who made the play. Childress, Byrd, and Fuller. Childress, by the way, has destroyed 6 face masks this year. His own, Lyles, Grimsley, Smith, and Meads, the 4 linebackers. Brown, Allen, Bostic, and Donaldson in the secondary. 2nd down and 20, no score. But a lot of excitement with 11:45 time remaining first quarter. The only man that has not been involved in the offense to this point is Ickey Wood. It is Brooks on a sweep. he'll have 4, maybe 5 yards before Jeff Donaldson brings him down. It'll be 3rd down and 16 as we'll check the scores in the National Football League. Our 10-minute ticker right on time. And no score. Detroit, Chicago. And now ready to go very quickly. This is something you've got to watch. A little bit underthrown, but it is caught by Eddie Brown. You simply cannot dawdle when you do a Cincinnati ball game. They always go in their attack mode, trying to catch the defense with the wrong players on the field, or maybe 12 on the field. They're going to call it against Cincinnati. It would have been 53 yards to the 2-yard line. Sam White's the very inventive head coach of the
Delay of
Bengals.
game, 12 men on the offensive team. 3rd down.
I was going to say, how can there possibly be a delay of game when Cincinnati did not go into a huddle? They went right to the line of scrimmage and threw the football. The reason being, they outfooled themselves. They left 12 people on the field trying to get into that special offense they use. We'll explain it as we go along, but basically, they don't go into a huddle. They just go to the line of scrimmage, Boomer calls a play, and they go with it.
And you really got to keep all eyes and all cameras focused right on them offensively, because they'll turn around at a moment's notice and start a play trying to catch the defense with 12 men on the field. This time they got caught. 3rd down and 20. Esiason slips away. Pump fake, steps away again, throws, it is high, and it is incomplete. This one sailed on him. Meanwhile, Chris Collinsworth wanted pass interference called. It was not called downfield. Houston has held. Cincinnati will be kicking, and the noise level in the Astrodome continues on its climb.
Collinsworth, I don't know if he had a gripe or not. He should have been working back toward the football, back toward Boomer Esiason. When a quarterback scrambles like this, it's like going back to grade school. You know, when the quarterback said to you, hey, go down to the blue Chevy and turn around, I'll hit you. It's the same kind of situation. Esiason should be working back toward the quarterback. He's not doing it, and he did have a gripe.
And he was interfered with. It was not called. Overlooked by the official. Lee Johnson to kick. Curtis Duncan to return. Has pressure, but he gets it away. Duncan at the 25-yard line. Duncan breaks it up the sideline to the 50-yard line. 25 yards on the return. Pushing and shoving already starting, and we still have 10:27 left to go. First quarter. Again, the pass interference on Collinsworth, that was not called. As we go to commercial, we have no score, first quarter. Collinsworth saying, hey, now that was a couple of plays ago.
51 defense. First down.
They're calling a personal foul on Eric Fairs. Defense, of course, they were on defense when the play started. And Houston now has possession. Following the penalty, the ball going back to the Oiler 35-yard line. So the penalties are even 15 yards on each side. No score. Back in a moment. I'm Charlie Jones along with Jimmy Cefalo, and things going about the way that they were planned by both coaches.
I think so. Houston trying to run the football with Rozier trying to keep Boomer Esiason off the football field. And when Boomer comes on the field using Eddie Brown with the pattern across the middle and James Brooke in motion as we thought he would throughout the day, the other item to look for is that Boomer has been using Ickey Woods exclusively on the goal line and in short yardage. Don't you think it's maybe about time he goes away from that, Charlie?
But first he has to get to where
he's got to get to the goal line.
And they were almost inside the 5, but the penalty brought it back.
But tendencies are important for Warren Moon. They like to run the football, give it to Rozier, allow Highsmith to block for Boomer Esiason on the other sideline. He likes to give the ball to Ickey Woods. We've not seen him touch the football yet today, which is interesting.
Houston starting this drive from their own 35-yard line. The last one ended in a fumble at the 50. Here's Rozier. 6 yards to the 41. It'll be second down and 4. And Leon White, who recovered the first Rozier fumble, is the man who made the tackle. The reason that Houston wants to keep Boomer Esiason and the Bengal offense off of the field, they are such an explosive offense. And also, first quarter, you're already thinking in terms of running time off the clock.
Yeah, you have to with Esiason. He's got too many weapons. That's the problem.
6 men in the secondary, second down and 4 wide receivers for the Houston Oilers, with Rozier the remaining back. And it is Rozier on the draw, and he has the first down. And did we get a flag on the far side? Yes, we did. A flag at the 41-yard line. And while we check out the flag, let's go to New York. Bob Costas has an update for us. Bob?
All right, Charlie, the Giants did it on the ground in their opening drive against the Chiefs, except for the concluding play, which was this touchdown pass from Phil Simms to Mark Bavaro of 12 yards earlier in the drive. Joe Morris had carried 9 times for 44 yards. Giants lead 7-zip. Charlie?
And here, Bob, we have a holding penalty that takes the ball back to the 30-yard line. And it is going to be second down and 15. Houston already has been penalized a total of 25 yards. Most penalized team in the National Football League. For the last 5 or 6 games, they've really cut their penalties down. They've been averaging at that point more than 100 yards per game. Now it's around 65, 66 yards. To Drew Hill, breaks a tackle, has the first down. Drew Hill, who has remarkably never been in the Pro Bowl. He should be. The balloting is this week.
Yeah, he's had 3,000-yard seasons. Would have had another one last year had it not been for the strike. But this is the same pattern we saw Cincinnati run. Only this time, the clearing is done by number 81, Ernest Givens. That allows Hill to come in behind and make the catch across the middle. Receivers that are running crossing patterns have got to take the other receiver out to dinner once in a while and say, listen, you clear out the middle for me, I clear out the middle for you.
First down at the 49-yard line. Houston in their own territory. No score in the ball game. Here's Rozier. Flags are down. Rozier goes to the 45-yard line of Cincinnati. But a flag again thrown. Tim Krumrie with the stop. We've had 1 turnover in the first half. If you will go back to the last time these two teams met in Cincinnati, Houston turned the ball over 3 times in the first quarter. Cincinnati capitalized immediately.
63 offense. First down.
Holding on Munchak. And at the end of the first quarter, the Bengals led it 28-0.
Sure, let's take a look at it and see if we can find that hole. Tim Krumrie in the middle of the defense, number 69. I'm understanding it maybe from the top. Munchak there you see with his arm hooked.
George Finkel, our producer, catching that immediately.
Skip McClendon, number 72, is the one that was being ridden to the turf by Munchak.
There you can see what we were talking about, penalty yards per game, and how they have been working on that. And Moon wants to go deep, and he does to Drew Hill. Hill's there, can't hold it. Right off of the fingertips, he got behind the secondary. Well, that was a great pass.
Yeah, Drew Hill and Curtis Duncan were on the same side of the field. You see Moon turn his head to the left to try to move his safety off. Then he comes back, and he actually moved the safety away, allowing Hill to get open by himself. But that is a perfectly thrown pass. And Hill, I agree with you, has got to go to the Pro Bowl, but he's got to make that catch as well.
Two got us today already. Ricky Dixon, the #1 draft choice out of Oklahoma for Cincinnati, was the man covering it. Hill's 2 seasons and 1 slow start. First 7 games, 19, 319. Last 7 games, 42 receptions, 671 yards, and 7 touchdowns versus just 2 through the first 7 games. Move to the shotgun. Here's the screen, and it is dropped. Givens was kind of wandering around behind the screen. Should he not stay in one spot?
Yeah, he should. It's an unusual play, however. How many times do you see a screen to a wide receiver that's set up where the entire offensive line moves in front of him? That's usually a play designed going to a running back, and so Ernest Givens is not used to that kind of a play. Maybe that was his problem.
Time for the 10-minute ticker. No score. Detroit, Chicago. Green Bay leading by 7. Buffalo leading the Raiders by 7. People in the West wonder who's going to win the West. The Giants in front of Kansas City by 7. We had that update from Bob Costas a moment ago. Dallas, Washington, no score. Tampa Bay, New England, no score. And here we have no score between the Houston Oilers and the Cincinnati Bengals. 3rd down and 20. Moon goes deep again. This time it is Givens who gets behind the secondary and is overthrown. He got behind Eric Thomas. So already Warren Moon has stretched the defense of Cincinnati, and that is one thing that all coaches try to accomplish.
Yeah, and what we said earlier, Charlie, is that Moon likes to go to his wide receivers nearly exclusively, and he's thrown the hill. He's just about a half a foot away from that. That is all Warren Moon. Hill had no chance for that one as opposed to Drew Hill on the other side. But Givens has got to be able to get down the field and give Moon something to throw at.
You saw Greg Montgomery. Hillary to return. Montgomery has a hamstring, has a problem. Can he kick? Can he make it? This is going to be a problem they have right here. But he gets a good roll. Oh, he gets a great roll. Maybe it's not as big a problem as I thought. And there's a flag back at the 35-yard line. And the preliminary signal, it is against Houston. They'll bring it back. 46 yards, including the roll. Ineligible
Illegal member of the kicking team downfield, number 51, 4th down.
And that is Eric Fairs. They'll take the penalty and kick over. As you know, only the two wide men out, either wide receivers or cover men, can go downfield before the ball is kicked. Nobody else can release. But again, with the hamstring to Greg Montgomery, the punter, could be a problem.
He injured the hamstring a week ago in the pregame warm-ups prior to the Pittsburgh game. He did not kick at all this week, and they were concerned whether or not he'd be able to do it today. And despite getting the good roll, Charlie, the Houston Oilers staff has got to be concerned with that first kick.
This time he just kicked through the paint. Fair catch. Taken by Ira Hillary, and Cincinnati will take over. We have no score with 7:24 left to go. We're in the first quarter. This is Charlie Jones, Jimmy Sever. You're looking at Greg Montgomery. His first kick, 43 yards. Maybe did the first one help him, warm him up a little bit?
I think so. Usually with a hamstring injury, you got to try and stretch it out as much as possible. The first one, he really did shank. He got a good roll on it. However, the second one coming out really helped him to get a better kick out of it.
Cincinnati from their own 27-yard line, first down. And here is Brooks. And he is pulled down by the shoulder pads. And now let's go to Bob Costas, an update in New York City.
Charlie, the Bills go for it here on 4th and goal at the 1 against the Raiders, and Rob Riddick dives over, capping a 15-play, 80-yard drive. Tampa Bay had stopped Riddick from the 1 on a 4th and goal last week. This time the Bills get in, trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. They lead 7-zip.
And so bad news for the Raiders. Good news for Seattle and Denver in that battle in the West. And, of course, Buffalo glad to get back on a strong offensive track again. 2nd and 6. Good fake. Esiason is sacked. Sean Jones got
it. Ground level look, Charlie. From the outside, number 91, Johnny Meads working on Brooks. That allowed Sean Jones to get inside. The problem you have going against this Houston team is you got Sean Jones, Johnny Meads on the same side of the field. Jones has got 6.5 sacks. Meads has 7 sacks. You can't double team both of them.
A reminder to our viewers, we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game. A loss of 13 on the sack. It is 3rd down and 19. The ball at the 18-yard line. We had movement. Houston is going to claim, of course, that they were pulled offsides.
All-star, 63 offense. 3rd down.
And they were. You called on one of 3 players. So it's going to be 3rd down and 24. And the ball will move back to the 13-yard line. More wide receivers for Cincinnati. And if Houston holds here and forces the punt, they'll start with excellent field position. They come with a handoff inside to Brooks. 17-yard line, gain of 4. It's going to be 4th down and 20. William Fuller making the stop for the Oilers, along with Ray Childress. And so Lee Johnson will be kicking. And Curtis Duncan will be returning. We've got flags, and the kick is away. Fair catch is called for and then stepped away. Will be down by Cincinnati. What happened in the offensive line for Cincinnati, I believe it was Joe Walter, turned around with his head. He was not in a 4-point stance, so if he was up, he can make that move. They're going to call motion anyway.
Yeah, but he can't make the move while the ball is being snapped. He can do it as long as he doesn't go into a 3-point stance.
Illegal motion, offense, 4th down.
So it'll go back to the 15-yard line, and it'll be 4th down again.
That's got to worry Sam Weish because, as we all know, Houston has tied an NFL record by blocking 5 punts this year, and they probably have changed their blocking scheme. Talking to the Houston players, we found out that Cincinnati, or that teams that Houston has gone against, have always changed their blocking schemes because it's the success rate of the Houston punt block squad. And so Cincinnati's showing a little bit of hesitation already.
And Houston is sending 10 men. Cincinnati has now been penalized 25 yards. And here they come. And the kick is away. Taken at the 49-yard line by Duncan. And he returns to the 41-yard line. Jim Riggs makes the tackle for Cincinnati. A 37-yard kick and a 9-yard return. We have no score, and we have 4:54. That is the time remaining in the first quarter. Back in just a moment. Showing what Houston's defense have done. Cincinnati's last 2 drives, 3 and out. And Houston has the ball at the Cincinnati 41-yard line. Gibbons to the near side, Hill to the far side. Moon likes to throw outside. He gives to Rozier, who's been very effective. And he is to the 36 or the 37-yard line. Let's see where they're going to mark it down. Well, they're going to mark it down behind that point. It'll be the 38-yard line. A gain of 3. 2nd down and 7. No score, Detroit, Chicago. Green Bay still leads Minnesota. Buffalo on top of the Raiders. First quarter. Giants in front of Kansas City. Dallas leads Washington. No score, Tampa Bay at New England. These, of course, all the early games today. And here in the Astrodome, we have no score between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Houston Oilers. Alan Pinkett is now in the ball game. He is number 20, and he is in motion, and Moon is back to throw. And he drops it off to the right side to Highsmith. And he will go to the 33-yard line. Lewis Billups was there.
Sure, I remember when I said earlier that Tim Krumrie was unusual, that he was leading the team. Nose tackles get double teamed. He takes on Pennison, number 52, first, but there's Munchak to back him up to take care of Krumrie right off the bat. When you're in a 3-man defensive front, there are 5 offensive linemen. That means the nose tackle is going to get double teamed. That's why Krumrie is thought to be the best nose tackle in the AFC. He makes that many tackles.
Houston has yet to convert a 3rd down opportunity. They're 0 for 2, but this is 3rd and 1. They should make it here, going against 6 in the secondary. And they do convert it. The pass is then dropped. They're going to rule the play dead. Gibbons with the reception. Billups and Dixon were there. And we'll take another look.
Ernest Gibbons on the outside, Hill on the inside. This is the same pattern we saw earlier. They're working it the other way, however. Right on the seam, they found the area.
There's the reception. He's down as soon as contact is made. No fumble. Good call with the officials.
But a ground, of course, can cause a fumble. In that case, the receiver was touched by a defensive back. Had Gibbons fallen and the ball popped out with anyone touching him, then it would have been a fumble, but it's a good call by the officials on the field.
It's the only time a ground can cause a fumble, right? When nobody else is around?
Right.
Here's the draw. Rozier, touchdown!
That right side of the the Houston offensive line, a nice kick-out block by Alonzo Highsmith, and there's nothing much for Rozier to do except run over a safety in the middle of the field. Big offensive line and a big hole for Rozier to get through, but he does the rest by himself.
For Mike Rozier, an NFL high. That is the 9th touchdown of the year. Tony Zendejas out of the hole of Brent Peace with the extra point. Houston 7 and Cincinnati nothing. 2:32. That is the time remaining in the first quarter. We'll go back to the touchdown.
Here's a look at the blocking pattern. You see they push Crumroy out in the middle of the field, number 69 being moved out. Pennison with a nice block on the corner, number 52. And then he simply runs over the safety, number 41, Solomon Wilcots has got to make that play.
Picks up another block downfield. And he is into the end zone, capping a 41-yard drive in 4 plays from 13 yards out, and the drive took 2:22.
Jerry, this is the loudest stadium that I had ever played football in. And this pom-pom waving reminds me of that particular football game. And I think most of America remembers a Monday night game where the Oilers beat the Miami Dolphins. The loudest stadium I have ever been in
That was
that
Earl
evening.
Campbell night, was it not?
Exactly. But this is a relatively quiet crowd just right now.
Kenny Anderson, the former quarterback for Cincinnati, said also when the crowd is quiet here, your voice carries. You've got to watch calling the plays of the huddle because everybody can hear it. The standings in the Central Division, Cincinnati 2 up on Houston and Cleveland. And, of course, they have all kinds of possibilities still remaining depending on the outcome of the last 2 weeks. Hillary and Jennings are the deep backs on the return, and Zendejas kicking off. And it will be down in the end zone by Jennings, and will take the touchback, bring it out to the 20-yard line. And Cincinnati very quickly will go to work because that is the way that they move in their attack mode on offense. He set up close to the line of scrimmage. They can take the normal huddling time, or they can turn around very quickly and get a playoff trying to catch the defense with 12 men on the field. Also, by doing this, they force the defense to stay in the same defense. They're not able to do the situation substitutions that defenses like to do now. Also, notice how the players, they call echoing it out. They are passing the play along the line of scrimmage due to the crowd noise. And Doug Smith is now in on defense for Houston. We'll come back to that story after this play as Ickey Woods has 4 yards to the 24.
And finally, Ickey Woods getting his hand on the football late in the first quarter. Doug Smith, after being suspended for 30 days because of substance abuse, is right back in the lineup today. He was 26 pounds overweight when he came back to the team on Wednesday. He worked all week to get his weight down, but it's something that he probably will not have the wherewithal to remain for an entire game because he's been out of football for 30 days.
He is number 99 for the Houston Oilers, their nose tackle. 2nd and 6. Tim McGee, the motion man. And Ickey Woods, the ball carrier. Eddie Brown has gone into the locker room. They're checking out his eye. The ball just outside the 22 where it is 3rd down.
See what Boomer Esiason is doing. They stand right at the line of scrimmage. He looks over to the Houston sideline to see if they're trying to bring...
Sean Jones is down. Let me tell you, Sean Jones is the Houston Oiler player who is down. And he is hurting.
He's had a knee problem in the past, Charlie. We don't know what the injury is, of course, but he has had a knee problem.
So we'll take a timeout with 1:11 time remaining. We're in the first quarter in the Astrodome, and the Oilers are out in front by a score of 7-0. Sean Jones very gingerly walking to the sideline. Eddie Brown back on the field. He went in just to check. I think he got a finger poked in the eye. That is the word that we received. 3rd down, Cincinnati 0 for 2 previous 3rd down opportunities here in the first quarter. This is 3rd down and 8. Esiason has pressure. to Brooks. Has the first down. And then is spun out of bounds. Jeff Donaldson makes the defensive play. And Esiason, watch him here now. He is calling the signals. He stays close to the line of scrimmage. He also will check the play from his sideline. He'll look immediately to the Oilers sideline to see who is in the ballgame.
He looks over to the Houston sideline to find out if they're trying to put in a nickel package. That means 5 defensive backs into the game. If they're trying to get them in, he gets his team to the line of scrimmage as quickly as possible to try to catch Houston in a 12-man on the field situation. If they're not trying to get him in, he simply calls them into a huddle and calls a regular play.
Eddie Brown in on offense. Sean Jones in on defense. That is Cincinnati's first down of the ballgame. Houston leads at 7-0. Little play action. Left-handed Esiason. Bobbled and dropped. It is incomplete. Jim Riggs, the tight end, drops it. And it is 2nd down and 10.
And every receiver gets this feeling. He wants to and beat it with a stick. You know, he keeps bobbling it time and time again. Boomer with the play action fake. They pull the guard out in front. That's Max Montoya with a nice block on the corner, giving him enough time. Sean Jones, it looks like, back into the football game. Good news for the Houston Oilers. But here it is. They pull Montoya out to try to get the block on the corner. He does a good job of it. But there, you take a stick and just beat it. That's what happens.
2nd and 10. Brooks moving outside. Now here's the echo. They're changing the play and they're sending it out. Hand signals to the wide receivers only on what they are going to do. They don't know the rest of the play when they change it. Incomplete. Coleman right in his hand.
Well, you see, he's got to borrow the stick from Riggs because he got to beat that one too. Holman, as you mentioned earlier, Charlie, the 2nd leading receiver for this Bengal offensive team, looked like he was running a bit in slow motion.
Yes,
did he appear that way to you?
Yes, like he was going through molasses. 10-minute ticker. Chicago now leads Detroit 3-0. Green Bay over Minnesota. Raiders and Buffalo tied at 7-7. Kansas City trailing the Giants. Dallas, Washington tied, no score. Tampa Bay, New England. And here it is Houston 7 and Cincinnati nothing. Esiason has completed only 1 of 5 passes.
But he's already had 2 dropped that I can remember in the last 2 plays.
Easy to remember.
That's right.
Esiason going deep. Chris Collinsworth, it was underthrown. Good defensive play by Patrick Allen. He was trailing him, and when it was underthrown, Collinsworth could not come back.
Exactly. All the defensive back has to do is stop in that situation. The receiver is going to run into him. Collinsworth had a gripe on an earlier pass interference call. He has none here.
Good play.
The defensive back has as much a right to the football as does the receiver. Patrick Allen, perfect position.
So it is 4th down. Lee Johnson to kick. Curtis Duncan to return. We have flags, movement, pulled offsides.
One of the things that might be happening is they might have their center squeezing the tip of the football. Normally, when you have a good team that blocks punts, and we'll take the call. Normally, when you have a good team that blocks punts, they are very good at getting off at the snap of the football. They're all looking at the snap. If you have the center...
Number 55, he moved the ball.
There it is. That's exactly what he did. He's moving the football. Take a look at the center. See him move the ball. Everybody moves on the football. They're not looking at the people in front of them. They're looking in at the ball. And that is the flag.
Ed Brady, who snaps. Cincinnati now has been penalized 5 times for 30 yards.
They're doing that to try to stop Houston from getting the good jump. They've blocked 5 punts already.
4th and 15. Pressure again. He gets it away. Duncan on the return at the 35-yard line to the 40. And has 10 yards on the return to the 45-yard line. 13 seconds. That is the time remaining in the first quarter. And we have some jawing going on at the 45-yard line. We have had that throughout most of the ballgame. 38 yards on the kick with an 11-yard return. And Houston will be on offense. The ball at the Oilers' 45-yard line. And this should be the final play of the first half. Now Cincinnati almost getting caught making substitutions. opens up with a shotgun. The pass is incomplete. He goes to Duncan. Billups was there for Cincinnati. And we have 8 seconds left. First quarter. And it is second down and 10.
And Duncan getting more playing time along with Haywood Jeffries in what Houston calls a red gun formation. All that means is there are 4 wide receivers into the football game. But Willie Drury now with the injury out on IR. Haywood Jeffries activated for this football game.
Warren Moon has completed 3 of 8 for 43 yards. And it is second down and 10. Gibbons in motion. Rozier really running well. He goes out of bounds with 1 second left in the quarter.
Rozier running behind 77 Bruce Davis on the corner working against McClendon. And a nice job by that same side of the Houston offensive line, or just scrimmage, and they can do it to either side. That side, it was Bruce Davis, number 77. If they go the other way, they still have Dean Steinkühler, who, while is sometimes substituted in passing plays, is a very good straight-ahead blocker. So Rozier can run to either side, and that helps the offensive play calling of Houston.
And he's already gained 59 yards in the first quarter. Gibbons in motion. First down at the Cincinnati 44-yard line. And here's Rozier again. 11, maybe 12 yards, and a first down as the first quarter comes to a close. Rozier on the move. The Oilers in front, 7-0. We'll be back in a moment. Fans are really into it here. And notice how they stand. They have their own television set. They know they're back. Look at these statistics of the first quarter. The Oilers have held Cincinnati to a -3 passing, 12 total yards.
Yeah, and the surprising number, 71 yards rushing by the Oilers, all 71 by Mike Rozier.
71 yards in the first quarter. Whew. Moves past Gibbons. It's going to be about 10 yards, maybe a first down. Eric Thomas pulls him down as we go to New York City for an update.
All right, Charlie, moments after the Raiders tied the Bills, here goes Thurman Thomas of Buffalo, bursting up the middle, 37 yards, through what is commonly referred to as a gaping hole in the Raider defense, and Buffalo leads 14-7.
And speaking of gaping holes, Houston has found it in the Cincinnati defense because they have really been able to move the ball offensively.
Well, the first time these two teams played, Houston, with a few turnovers in the first quarter, had to abandon their running game, but Warren Moon enjoys it. He likes to set up his pass with the run, and so far they've been doing it.
Second down and 1. First down. Rozier to the 15-yard line, add 8 more yards to his total. He may run for 200 yards today.
Cincinnati's got to do something to stop this run. Maybe go to a 4-man front. That wouldn't be a surprise to me at all. Now he goes back to the right side. Actually, Rozier cuts it right up the gut between a nice block. Mike Munchak, number 63, leading the way, and Jay Pennison, 52, the center. Good vision by Rozier, though. Taking it deep in the backfield and picking wherever he wants to go.
First down at the 15-yard line. Rozier to the right side. Pops through, he'll score. He does. His second touchdown of the ball game, his 10th of the year.
Houston keeps running basically the same play, that little bit of a delay, running to the right side this time behind Matthews, number 74. Pennison is having a career day against Tim Krumnard, number 69. Sorry, Cincinnati's got to find a way to stop it, go to a 4-man front, move the linebackers up, maybe blitz a safety on a running down, because right now Rozier and his offensive line is controlling this game. 10 carries for 94 yards.
94 yards with 13 and a half minutes to go in the first half. Houston 14, Cincinnati nothing. Here's another look.
It's just that little delay. Highsmith, number 32, getting inside, and a nice block. Rozier does all the rest.
Today's game is brought to you by Honda, who invites you to test drive the Civic 4-door at your local Honda dealership today. By Citizen, no other watch expresses time as beautifully. And by Radio Shack, the technology store, America's leader in consumer electronics.
And today, at least, Santa wears blue.
Don't adjust your TV set.
Houston 14, Cincinnati nothing. Tony Zendejas to kick off with Stanford Jennings and Ira Hillary, the deep man. And it will be down in the end zone by Jennings, and Cincinnati will bring it out to the 20-yard line. And Mojo goes to work. Oh, a double roll with a... The spike was not that good, but the double roll was good.
Got to get him a pair of unbreakable glasses over.
The touchdown drive of 55 yards in 6 plays, and of the 55 yards...
Rozier had 46 of the 55 on the ground.
The story, also, the Houston defense, they have shut down the Cincinnati offense. Brooks in motion. Pass a little low, and Brooks drops it. Reach back with your hands. That's 3 catchables that have been dropped recently.
Yeah, 3 balls. That's a tough catch for Brooks, going away and having to stop to come back at an angle. But, however, you're right, Charlie. 3 that I can remember balls that Boomer Esiason should have had caught by his receivers.
Like that, from a receiving standpoint, when it is low and behind you and you come back, isn't there a tendency also to know that you are going to get hit as soon as you catch the ball? Does that not weigh on your mind?
Because you're in a vulnerable position. You have no force, no way to re-divert yourself and go back upfield.
2nd and 10. 1 yard for Nicky Woods. John Grimsley, the leading tackler for the Oilers, cuts him down. 3rd down and 9.
This Houston defense is first in the AFC against the rush, and Sam Weiss has got to find a way to get his offense on track. I think they've got to start throwing the football on 1st down as they tried on that occasion, but when you go incomplete on 1st down, it takes away your playbook. You got to throw the ball more.
Cincinnati has only 1 first down in the ball game. 12:45 time remaining, 1st half. This is 3rd down, 9. Brooks in motion. Esiason, good protection. Drops it off underneath the coverage to Nicky Woods. He is dropped at the 26, gain of 5. 4th down, 4. Johnny Meads with the play.
Johnny Meads, number 91, top part of your screen on the right. He's going back and dropping to try to help on Collingsworth, number 80, going downfield. Then he has the presence of mind to get upfield and get in on the running back Woods. That's the kind of thing you can do when it's 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10 on the situation.
Robert Lyles was dragging him down. And here's the kick. Duncan stays away from it. And it rolls to the 33-yard line. So Houston will take over on their own 33-yard line. A 39-yard kick. The Oilers out in front of Cincinnati by a score of 14-0.
Plays here. Saturday, the Patriots march into Denver to battle the Broncos as 2 playoff contenders square off in a must-win game.
Then Sunday, it's a do-or-die showdown in the AFC's Wild West when the Seahawks battle the LA Raiders.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
Cincinnati with 4 drives today. 3 and out, 3 and out. 3rd drive, they had their only first down, then again 3 and out. A tribute to the Houston defense. Now let's see what the Houston offense does. Moon with good protection, throws and intercepted. Cincinnati has the ball. Carl Zander with the interception, and that is his first of the year. Second turnover for the Bengals. They got a fumble recovery earlier in the ballgame at the 50-yard line.
And it appeared to me that Moon lost sight of Carl Zander. He was looking downfield to his safety, and Zander kind of surprised him. Zander sneaks up in between. You see that? He was looking downfield to the safety, and that's the reason Eric Thomas was coming across. But it was Zander, number 91, who makes the interception.
So Cincinnati has the ball at the Houston 41-yard line, trailing 14-0. They have a first down. Hickey Woods. Woods pops through, has the first down. He goes to the 28-yard line. A gain of 13 yards in the first down. Jeff Donaldson with a tackle. That is only the second first down of the ballgame. 10 minutes have passed. Time for the ticker. Detroit, Chicago tied at 3. Green Bay continues to lead the Vikings. An upset working there in the second quarter. Buffalo by 7 over the Raiders. Here's Brooks to the right side. The defense strings him out. He cannot get around the corner. Bostic in reality along with Robert Lyles making the play. Let's go back to the other scores. Giants in front of Kansas City by 7. Dallas, Washington tied at 3. Tampa Bay, New England tied at 0. Indeed. Let me second. We haven't got the 2 up. Here in the second quarter, Houston 14, Cincinnati nothing. Warren Moon, the quarterback of the Oilers. Second and 10. Here comes the blitz. Woods cuts back of the hole that was open when the blitz man came through. He's going to pick up only a couple of yards to the 26. It'll be third down and 8 as Jeff Donaldson, the free safety, was there to make the play.
Warren Moon with that interception on the last drive. He had gone 98 throws without an interception until that Steeler game last week when he threw 3 of them. 7 in the entire year, make that 8 now. Warren Moon, normally a very accurate thrower. Today, he's 4 of 10 for 52 yards, and of course, that 1 interception.
Third down and 8. Here's Brooks. They live up to the graphic. Houston with another defensive play. Loss of a yard.
Left side of your screen, the Bengals are not getting any movement on the on the defensive side of the ball. It is the Houston Oilers who are getting up the field, and Brooks has no place to go. Bird, number 71, making the play down the line.
And a 45-yard field goal attempt by Jim Breach. His longest this year is 41. His career long is 55, but that was in 79. And he's got it from 45 yards away. And Cincinnati on the scoreboard. It is now Houston 14 and Cincinnati 3. Just under 9.5 left to go, first half. 142-32, somewhere in there, almost 5-1.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
It is. Warren Moon should look a bit happier.
Yeah.
The interception he threw, if you remember earlier in the season, he had a broken bone in the shoulder blade area. And I think the problem he's having is getting air under the football. What I mean by that is putting some arc on it. The muscles around that area, from what we understood talking to him a couple of weeks ago, have been slow to heal. He's been having trouble getting some arc, some air under the ball, and that may be the reason for the previous interception.
And the kickoff going through the end zone for the automatic touchback will bring it out to the 20-yard line. So Houston for their own 20-yard line first down, leading now by a score of 14-3. The numbers of Warren Moon not near as impressive as the numbers of Mike Rozier. So the Oilers very effective on the ground. Rozier has rushed for 94 yards. That's a 9.4-yard average.
And the Oilers are doing what they want, keeping Boomer Esiason off the field with that running game. And they also like to throw the football on first down to try to set up that run. Let's see if they change it up this time.
And here's Rozier to the right side. He is shut off. Manages still to get 5, maybe 6 yards before he goes out of bounds. David Fulcher finally bumped him out of bounds. But the Cincinnati defense stringing him right down to the sideline, and then he shifts gears. No, he'll have 7 yards to the 27-yard line.
Steinkuhler, number 70, and Jamie Williams, number 87, working the right side of the line of scrimmage. Also, Highsmith, number 32, trying to get a block up top, but nowhere to go. Nice play by David Fulcher, number 33, to string it to the sideline. However, 7 yards on that play and 101 yards already in this game for Mike Rozier.
He'll take a breather. Pinkett comes in to replace him. We have an official's timeout.
For the field clock, adjusting 9 minutes. 9 minutes on the field clock.
And so a malfunction of the field clock.
Jerry Glanville had his hands full this week trying to convince his team that to forget about that loss and get on with the rest of the season.
Used every cliche that coaches always use. You know, you've heard them all.
Well, he had a good one, though.
Oh, is that a new one?
He said the pain of the loss went bone deep, maybe sometimes even down to the marrow, which I'd never heard before.
I never got to that one.
Which cliches did you hear?
Oh, the character. And you have to suck him up.
This is we find out what we're made of?
Yes, yes, you know those. Yeah. You first heard them in junior high school.
Well, no, there's a book. There's a book out.
There's a book out. They passed it. I think you're right. And now flags and whistles. The clock is correct. And there's been a bit of jawing going on between these two
False
teams.
start, 77 offense, second down.
That's on Bruce Davis on a false start. Normally, is there a lot of cross conversation between play? They're right at the bottom of the screen that you saw. Actually, you could call it either on Bruce Davis or on Jamie Williams because he also jumped. Houston now been penalized 5 times for 45 yards. A lot of talk.
Oh, there's a great deal of talk of it.
Any that we can repeat?
No, very little.
All right. Second down and 8. Givens in motion. Crowd here becoming more knowledgeable of how to use their noise. This is to Drew Hill, and he goes out of bounds. I suspect the Seattle crowd in the Kingdom most sophisticated at making the noise to disrupt the opposing team, but the crowd here is learning all of the tricks.
Givens and Hill on the crossing pattern. You see what they're trying to do is confuse a defense as much as possible. Darryl Smith, number 25, is playing his own. When he sees 2 receivers cross in front of him, he's got to make a decision. Do I go with Hill? Do I go with Givens?
Defensively, Jason Buck is now in. They're going with a 4-man front, and it's 3rd down and 4.
And that's what I suggested before, Charlie. They've got to stop that running attack if they can. But this situation, the 4-man front is in there because of the 5 defensive backs.
Curtis Duncan drops the first down. Good pass by Warren Moon. Ira Hillary will be the return man, and now Greg Montgomery, remember, has the hamstring. His first kick was had a good roll on it. They brought it back. It was not very effective at all. He kicked again, so statistically his first punt was 43 yards. It was pretty good. Now, it's been a while, so he's had a chance to cool down.
Now, the more successful his Houston Oiler offense is, the more problems he's going to have personally because he's going to tighten up sitting on a bench.
Cincinnati looks as if they're sending 10 men. They do put pressure, and it's high, wobbly, and it is short, and it's going to be down at about the 47-yard line of Cincinnati by Eric Fairs. And so that injury still bothering Greg Montgomery. 27 yards on the punt. Detroit, Chicago tied at 3. Green Bay leading Minnesota now 7-3. Buffalo by 10 over the Raiders in the second quarter. Giants by 7. Dallas, Washington tied. Tampa Bay, New England tied. And here it is Houston 14 and Cincinnati 3 with 8:59 on the clock. That's got to be corrected. Remember, they changed it a moment ago to 9 minutes on the clock. So the field clock malfunctioning. AFC leading the series between the AFC and the NFC 27-21. 4 games remaining. AFC has clinched the season series. Play action fake by Esiason has pressure. He is sacked for the second time in the ballgame. William Fuller got this sack. He now has 8.5 on the year. Bag boomer, and they did at the 35-yard line.
Esiason was waiting on James Brooks to get open, number 21. See the man the ball is being faked to? Brooks gets tied up in between, but he does come open. However, Esiason did not have enough time. If he had another click of the clock, that would have been a big play for Cincinnati because Brooks was open.
Another click of the clock.
Another click of the clock, right.
2nd and 23, a loss of 13. Esiason sets up throws very quickly, and this one is to Brooks' far side. And he is going to go out in the neighborhood of the 50-yard line. Alan Patrick bumped him out just shy of the 50. He got 15 yards back. It's going to be 3rd down and 8.
The Bengals like James Brooks in motion as a lead blocker. He is the best blocker they have in the backfield.
They like James Brooks.
Period, absolutely. But people don't assume that he's a great blocker, and he is. He's a terrific blocker for this team. And in motion, he's so shifty. They like to put him in motion and force a safety to try and cover him downfield.
And the only man on this team and the entire team acquired by trade. From San Diego a few years ago, Cincinnati has converted only 1 of 6 third down opportunities, 3rd down and 8. And they do not convert here. Brown, the intended receiver, and Brown knocked it away. That's Eddie Brown, the intended receiver, and Steve Brown, no relation with the defensive play. 4th down. Houston defense has dominated this game.
Yeah, they were embarrassed a week ago. They gave up a lot of big plays to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Including that last 80.
Up a couple of big touchdown passes to Lewis Lips. Brown was burned for 80 yards by Lips. Patrick Allen was burned for 65.
Pressure. Johnson barely gets it away. And it will go into the end zone for the touchback. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Houston 14, Cincinnati 3.
For a punt, I would hate to be a punt return man for the Houston Oilers.
Why?
For this reason. They put 10 men on the line of scrimmage all the time.
That's right. You're back there by yourself.
You're on your own, pal. And the reason they're doing it, the change in the roughing the punter penalty, it's only 5 yards now. More people can put 10 people on the line of scrimmage. More clubs can do that.
And that was 4th and 8. Perfect example.
Right, and it's because if you grab somebody, we take a look at halftime. Frank DeFord, of course, will be with us, along with Bob, Ahmad, Paul, and Gail, right?
Gail
from
here. Gail is here in Houston. Good. Yes, we saw her before.
But yeah, if it's 4th and 8, and you go in, you go after the punt, and you hit the punter, it's 4th and 3. Kick it again, no problem. So punt returning has taken a turn for the worst in this league.
As far as the returner is concerned, you're backing up. Nice for you guys when you get the block, but when you don't get it, I'm alone. Now Houston from their own 20-yard line, leading 14-3. Rozier with 2 touchdowns. Alonzo Highsmith gets the call. 4 yards to the 24.
Alonzo Highsmith, the blocking he's got up front. Let's take a look at it. Mutchak, number 63, gets a head on somebody. The linebacker slipping inside, gets a hold of Highsmith. Highsmith seems a little tentative to me today. A week ago against Pittsburgh, he fumbled twice, lost one of them. And he had been progressing early in the season. He dropped the football a little bit.
Clock's working.
Yeah, clock is working. Then in the middle of the season, he was hanging on to it.
Thought I'd mention that.
Now, last week he had trouble hanging on to the football.
Didn't bother your train of thought, did I?
Not at all.
Okay. Here's Rozier. Boy, he has bothered the defense of Cincinnati. What's his total? He was over 100 yards. What I have it for you? 112? 102. In a moment, he'll have 112, the way he's going.
You might have noticed on that play, Highsmith got out of his stance a bit early, but he is allowed to take 1 step up or 1 step to the side as he begins motion. And he's also allowed to get into a 4-point stance, which he did before the ball was snapped. So if you're waiting for a flag, that's the reason not.
3rd down and 4. Houston has converted only 1 of 4 third down opportunities. Neither blocker has been effective on 3rd down. Highsmith back to block. 1st down. Drew Hill spinning loose. Bolter finally makes the tackle. 18 yards. 1st down.
Right, the balloting for the Pro Bowl is this week, and Drew Hill has got to be in that Pro Bowl. He's got 10 100-yard games the last 2 years, more than anybody in the NFL. He makes Ricky Dixon, number 29, miss. Take a look at the blocking pattern. That's number 63, Munchak, Pennison's 52 inside. And Highsmith trying to get back up to help on the defensive end.
When you think about it, this is his 9th year in the National Football League, and he hasn't been in the Pro Bowl yet. And you look at the numbers, and you look at Crazy George, who agrees with us, of course, that he deserves it. We don't vote. The other players vote. Going deep. Incomplete. Oh, they caught it. Haywood Jeffries with his first catch in the National Football League. At 6'3", 198 pounds, number 1 draft choice a year ago. 42 yards.
And the coverage is there. Warren Moon puts the ball he underthrows the football, actually, but you can't ask for much more from Darrell Smith, number 25. But the presence of mind, wait a minute, Charlie. We got taking a look at that guy, huh?
Oh, yeah. First catch this year. He had 7 last year. First game he's played in this year.
And they're not going to take a look at it upstairs.
No. No need to. And he come right back with Rozier. 5-yard line.
But what great concentration by Haywood Jeffries.
Oh, yeah.
When you're going down, a defensive back runs into you. Still, he had the presence to scoop it with his left hand.
Hurt his ankle in preseason. He's been on injured reserve all year. You're activated the next to last game of the season.
That gives you a lot of confidence, by the way.
Well,
They activate you.
Because it gives you a lot of butterflies.
They could easily leave you away on the injured reserve, injured all year. However, they have enough confidence in him. They still believe he can be a good player in this league. Some have said, hey, give up on Haywood Jeffries, but the Oilers don't believe that. They like him.
2nd and 2 at the 5-yard line. You got to figure Rozier, because he has scored 2 touchdowns. He's going to lose some yardage here. They'll mark it back to the 13th. He'll lose 8.
And every coach in America is saying, please put the football away, Mike.
Yeah.
He's got the football out in front of him the whole time. He's fumbled once today. He's got to tuck that ball away. That's what a coach will tell you, but Rozier does it continually, and he gets away with it most of the time.
3rd down, and so we expect Warren Moon to throw here. Particularly with Rozier and Highsmith both going to the far sideline, kind of gives it away. Moon does not throw that much to his backs or to his tight end. He always throws to his wide receiver.
Almost exclusively.
Here would you watch Haywood Jeffries. I've watched Curtis Duncan. Duncan's first touchdown of the year. Drive in 7 plays. Zendejas to attempt the point after. Houston 21, Cincinnati 3.
A week ago, Moon ran this play, the option play. That's what they fake here for a touchdown against the Steelers. Now he pulls it back up. He gets the defensive back Billups to react up to the line of scrimmage. Leaves Duncan open for the touchdown. Nice play. Nice call by Jerry Glanville and June Jones and his staff.
And Warren Moon's reaction. All right. And the smile tells it all.
Sitting there with Brent Peace, Warren Peace, matchup on the sideline discussing things. This is a direct turnaround of the game that we called a few weeks ago.
Yes.
It was Cincinnati who jumped out to a 28-0 lead early in the football game.
At the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, and Houston stormed back in the 3rd quarter and nearly made it a very good football game. The final, I believe, was 44-21.
Yes, but it was much closer than that because they came so close before Cincinnati had another surge in the 2nd half. There's the 80-yard drive in 7 plays. Zendejas will be kicking off. 2:58. Time remaining, second quarter. In a 21-3 ball game. And again, Zendejas kickoff going into the end zone where it will be down. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. We've got a flag. Mojo has put on a little weight since we last saw him. And the officials holding their conference.
With Crazy George, Mojo, Jerry Glanville on the same field, I don't know if I'd call this house pain. House of comedy on occasion.
Yeah. Penalty against the Bengals, and let's check the 10-minute ticker. Detroit, Chicago tied at 3 at the half. Green Bay leading Minnesota. That upset is still working. Buffalo by 10 over the Raiders. Giants in front of Kansas City. Dallas leading Washington. Still no score Tampa Bay, New England. Halftime there.
Holding number 32 on a receiving team. First down. After the touchback.
Holding called after the touchback.
That's
a dead ball holding foul. If it's after the touchback, the play's dead. You can't have holding after a play is dead. I don't think you could have a personal foul.
But not holding.
I don't think you can have holding. I think that's the reason they're holding another conference.
It's one of those things where you know the pushing and shoving and a little bit of the argument. And the play is over and somebody grabs someone. That's not holding. That may be a personal foul.
Yes. Thank you, Tom. Tom Dooley, the referee.
Disregard the flag. There is no foul. Holding after the ball is dead is not a foul.
Congratulations, Charles. You're absolutely
right. Thank you very much. Did you notice he was looking right at the official that made the call? Did you ever do that to me again?
I think even Jerry Glanville has to agree with that. He didn't show much emotion with it.
I miss Paul and Mary Brown, the Cincinnati Bengals. They did not make the trip here. Paul was going to show me his version of the Icky shuffle that we've been working on. Icky may not be able to shuffle if Cincinnati doesn't get that offense moving. This pass is complete to Icky Woods. And he is across the 30, and we'll have the first down. Because in this situation, when it's after a touchback, the ball is placed at the 20-yard line, you do not even check the change. If it just touches the chalk mark at the 30, it's the automatic first down. Robert Lyles and Keith Bostic on the tackle.
And Houston has done their job in this first half. Esiason's only been able to put up the ball 11 times, 4 completions, and that's what Houston has wanted to do. Run the football as much as possible to keep the #1 rated quarterback off the field.
And that is only the 3rd first down in the first half for Cincinnati. Brooks in motion. Good coverage downfield. Esiason is down and a flag is down. Childress will get the sack if it stands, and it should. Normally the flag is holding against the offense when it's thrown here, particularly when the quarterback has been waiting that long. Excellent coverage downfield with the secondary.
Well, Esiason's only sending 3 people down into the pattern. On occasion, they've used 2 tight ends in the backfield to try to protect Boomer Esiason.
Illegal use of hands. Number 78 on the offense. The penalty is declined. It's second down.
That goes against Anthony Munoz, number 78, declined by Houston. But that's a good news, bad news situation. Good news in that you protect your quarterback better with 2 tight ends. Bad news is you only put 3 receivers into the pattern.
Second down and 22 as we come to the 2-minute warning. We have a timeout. We'll be back. Be there. Jerry Grant, look at this. The Bengals have been held to 34 yards by his defense. They were down all week long. We talked about that at the opening. Bothering some of the Houston players even into Thursday. They're ready to play today. This is the screen. Holman, the tight end, is out of bounds. Steve Brown was chasing him.
Sam Weiss pulls out all the stops. Tight end screen this time around to Holman. Take a look at Holman, number 82. See him in there? He fakes the block. See, he's not doing much. He's just faking the block. He's got to worry about the timing. When the defensive end gets past him, then he sneaks out into the flat to get the lineman in front. Not very successful, however, and sets up a third and very long for Cincinnati.
Again, third down, and Cincinnati has had all kinds of problems with third down conversion. Third and 19, for they'll go with 4 wide receivers. Esiason rolling left. He's left-handed. Smart play for the quarterback. The intended receiver, it doesn't make any difference. He was throwing it at the feet of the closest receiver, whoever it might be. He was avoiding a loss. The sack was imminent.
And you hope the receiver is smart enough not to catch the football, because I've seen receivers dive for it under those circumstances. Troy Walters, number 63, trying to get out to get some help for Esiason. But Charlie, you're right. He got rid of it simply to avoid the sack and at the feet of a receiver. So he does.
WCMH TV4, Columbus.
Sean Jones putting the pressure on. And Curtis Duncan takes the ball at the 40-yard line. He may have a yard on the return. Leo Barker down very quickly. And is there a flag down? Yes, back at the 32-yard line. A 39-yard kick, a 1-yard return if it stands. We believe that Houston was offside. So rather than 4th and 19, it'd be 4th and 14. You want to kick again.
Yeah, I would.
2-yard line's pretty good field position.
I would kick again if I were the Bengals. Plus, you take a few more seconds.
Offsides, 56 defense, penalties decline, first down.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Threat.
Well, the threat of the block.
Absolutely. The block punt.
Yep.
The threat of the block punt causes this decision.
That's right. If it wasn't the Houston Oilers team that's blocked 5 punts this year, they would have taken the penalty and kicked again.
A chance for you to update yourself on all of the other early games. Of course, at halftime, NFL Live will give you all the details behind these numbers. Houston for their own 42-yard line, first down. Houston comes back with 4 wide receivers. It runs out of bounds. First down at the 47-yard line of Cincinnati. Eric Thomas was chasing him. Play being signaled in from the sideline. 1 minute, 36 seconds. That is the time remaining in the first half. Oilers lead it 21-3, and if you want to play a short field, you only need about another 25 yards to go with a field goal attempt.
And they've got all their timeouts remaining so they can use the entire field. They don't have to worry about just going to the sideline with the pass.
Moon from the shotgun. Dixon with the tackle. Close to the first down.
Drew Hill runs the crossing pattern as well as anyone given. See, they cross again. Remember the last time they crossed? This time, Hill is the one who's wide open in the zone coverage that Cincinnati is trying to employ. He's also a very dangerous runner after he touches the football. He's got 4 catches for 50 yards in the first half.
First down, Houston. Moon, all the time in the world. And then it is incomplete. He was just trying to shovel it off to Rozier. Was Rozier hiding there as a blocker?
Oh, he was staying in to help on the defensive end or the linebacker who might come. But that's one of the situations we talked about earlier. Rozier only caught that football. He can throw it at his feet. You know, getting down toward the end of the half, you don't want to throw it to a running back right at the line of scrimmage or a couple of yards behind.
57 seconds left. Alonzo Highsmith now has come in to block for Warren Moon. Cincinnati will show a 4-man front. And Houston will go with 4 wide receivers, second down and 10. A direct snap to Highsmith. And only about 3 yards. Now you can take a timeout if you're Houston, and they will. They still will have 2 remaining. They will want to save 1 for a field goal attempt. I learned that from you. We'll be back in a moment.
Dear Dad, we made our toughest jump yet at dawn. It was kind of...
Save the last time out to assure yourself at least a shot at 3 points.
Timeouts remaining, 3 and 2. Third down and 6, 33-yard line. It's down, 20-yard line. 13 yards to Drew Hill.
And they use their second timeout. Now what this means is they've got one timeout remaining, and they'll cut down their field to the sideline or to the end zone. I would be leery if I were Jerry Glanville to ask Warren Moon to throw the football in the middle of the field. Throw it to the sideline or into the end zone so you keep that last timeout.
Why'd you take a timeout here? Why not run a second play? Why not save it a little?
Oh, was it a gain of 20 yards?
13.
13 yards. You got a long way to go to get your team in position to run another play. That's the reason I would have taken a timeout. Plus, you can't carry him over to the second half. A lot of people, you wait and you wait and you wait. Well, you can't carry him over.
Drew Hill now has 5 receptions for 64 yards. So on the year, he has 66 receptions, and that is a career high for him in a single season. Moon now has drawn a hot hand, 11 of 18 after a slow start, 165 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But the big numbers are 21-3.
The only ones that count.
That's right. Lou Holtz of Notre Dame, you'll be on the Fiesta Bowl, had a great line. Somebody said the other team out first down. And said, well, if they want to play for first downs, we can play that game too. Just tell us. Here's Moon. Diving for a possible interception was Ray Horton. Jeffries, the intended receiver. Darrell Smith at the cover.
If they make that catch, Haywood Jeffries gets tackled, then they've got to hustle to the line of scrimmage and throw the football out of bounds. Or call 2 plays in the huddle. Warren Moon is probably going to call 2 plays as they get around him in huddle, so that if that situation occurs where they've got to get back to the line of scrimmage quickly without calling the timeout, they'll have something to go to.
36 seconds left, 1 timeout remaining. Zendejas can hit from 52 yards out. He's done that 3 times, including this year. So he's well within his range. Moon felt the pressure. Drew Hill was the closest receiver. Jason Buck was going to sack him. But the reality is he was saving the loss.
Jason Buck, number 99, in that 4-man front. He comes into the game as the 4th down lineman and really doesn't get blocked by anyone.
They're calling in the grass. They're ruling in the grass, so the line of scrimmage is going to be the 26-yard line, so it is going to be a sack. And now Houston, with 19 seconds remaining, takes their 3rd timeout, breaking the Cefalo law.
Well, that's why I'm not a football coach.
Well, I'm surprised at that.
Yeah, I am too. Now, with time running down, they're going to have to be very careful to throw the ball to the sideline or into the end zone so that someone doesn't get caught in the middle of the field.
Now it is 3rd down. 19 seconds left. You throw one, that's right. Well, you throw the 1 pass in the end zone. If it's a complete touchdown, if it's not, then the field goal, they're ready to come right on.
Well, Houston, that's the other thing they should be doing is gathering, which Jerry Glanville is. He's saying, get the field goal team right here, stand on the sideline, and as soon as I give the signal, you sprint in and get ready. Get set up to kick this thing. Because if he gets caught in the middle of the field, it's going to be a real rush to get this thing off.
I still think that I would have just signaled in an end zone pass and then called the timeout. Third down and 16 at the 26-yard line. Moon's under center. Maybe he's more comfortable there than in the shotgun. End zone, incomplete. Hill, the closest receiver, intended receiver. Ray Horton had the coverage, and the field goal team is coming out. And this is a situation where the 45-second clock does help the Houston Oilers and or the kicking team, because they still have 25 seconds to get this off now. This would be from the 33, an attempt of 43 yards and pieces to hold, the backup quarterback. A fake?
I think that may have been the signal we saw Sam Weish putting on his head. Be careful, because they may fake it. And that's his signal to his defense.
43 yards. Tony Zendejas. He now has hit 18 of 30 on the year.
A good hold by Peace. You see him rotating the laces of the football to get them pointed toward the goalpost. Zendejas, as you said, Charlie, after a shaky start, He was 4 of 12 to start the season. Came back now 14 of his last 18 kicks have been successful.
And Houston leads by 21. Detroit and Chicago, they're already in the third quarter, and they are tied at 3. Green Bay still an upset working at halftime. Buffalo ahead of the Raiders 20-7, and of course Buffalo and Cincinnati in that battle for home field advantage. The Giants in front of Kansas City in the third. Dallas ahead of Washington at the half. And in the third quarter, Tampa Bay at New England. Still no score. And here as we creep our way toward the halftime ceremonies, we have 9 seconds left in the first half. It is Houston 24 and Cincinnati 3.
This is nearly a direct turnaround from that first football game between these two teams. And as we mentioned, Houston made it quite a game the last time around, at least in the third quarter. Now it's Sam Weich's turn to try to do the same.
Hillary picks up the kickoff. And he is stopped at around the 26-yard line. And a flag is down. Spencer Tillman making the tackle. Clock is stopped with 2 seconds left in the first half. Bernie Cooker, number 86, is the field judge. Number 6 is Tom Dooley, the referee. Personal foul against the Houston Oilers.
Unnecessary roughness, personal foul, 53 on the kicking team. First down.
That's Eugene Seal.
This might not look like it means much. However, I think Esiason now can throw the football. He may be able to get it into the end zone. And with that tipped football, just 2 seconds left, it may turn out to be something important. Take a look at the right side of your screen. It almost looked like a face mask, but that, of course, was not what was called. This penalty went against the Houston Oilers for personal foul.
3 wide receivers on the far side. Esiason being chased. He's a left-handed thrower. He's going to run to the sideline. Slides down at the 46. Meanwhile, the clock runs to 000. It is halftime in the Astrodome, and the ovation for the Houston Oilers. They have dominated the first half. They lead 24-3. NFL Live halftime activities will continue in a moment, and we'll be right back after these messages from your local station, the King of Beers. Diaz has been kicking off consistently into the end zone. This one comes up short. Jennings on the return, and he is out to the 20 to the 22-yard line. And Cincinnati's first offensive thrust, as Domingo Bryant of the Oilers made the tackle. Cincinnati can set a tone that they want to establish in the second half. The opportunity is here and now. Otherwise, it could be a very long second half for Bengal fans.
Yeah, usually when you're very happy when you're down to be able to come back and get the ball in the receiving end, just to show that you've made some adjustments at the half and are successful with it. As much to prove to yourself and your players.
Jumping on the right side, and that is Holman, the tight end. There wasn't that much noise here, although noise is a factor, and that'll cost 5 yards.
False start, 82 offense, first down.
So Cincinnati starts out with a penalty, and it's first down and 15. Esiason wobbly and high, not throwing with great authority opening the second half. It'll be second and 15. You were talking with Kenny Anderson before the ball game, former quarterback with Cincinnati. He never liked playing here because he said the ball always seemed to have a film on it, and he had a problem gripping the ball. He would throw it high and wobbly, such as the pass we just saw.
I would have to say this is one of the least favorite stadiums in the National Football League to play in for players.
For the visiting team.
Yeah, right, for the visiting team. I hated it because of the ceiling. You looked up in the air, and you thought about everything but the football coming to you.
Ickey Woods to the 29-yard line, a gain of 12. So it's going to be 3rd down and around 3 to go. The ceiling in the Astrodome.
When you're returning a punt, that's what you're looking at. Or when you're catching a pass, that's what you're looking at. And it can be very disconcerting.
That is distracting, isn't it? Third down and 3. Of course, indoors, as you saw, a flat field. There's no crowd. Ickey Woods to the 30-yard line. It will be 4th down and 2. Keith Bostic leading the defense along with Fuller. Go for it.
Ickey Woods, again, that short yardage and goal line has been almost the exclusive territory of Ickey Woods. I think Sam Weish had a thought there for a second to go for it, but again, they've got lots of time at the beginning of the 3rd quarter, and they're going to kick it away.
Duncan to return the kick of Lee Johnson. Not a rush on, this time a return on. Fair catch is called for. Good kick taken back at the 19-yard line. 51 yards on the kick by Lee Johnson. And Houston will have their first offensive opportunity when we come back. 13:25, time remaining in the 3rd. The Oilers lead at 24-3.
Today's game is brought to you by Chrysler Motors. We just want to be the best. By English Leather, a man's cologne and aftershave, because some guys have it all. And by RCA, #1 with the toughest critics in the world.
Houston with a first down at their own 19-yard line. First opportunity on offense here in the second half. Oilers on top 24-3. Rozier with 103 yards rushing in the first half. He needs only 38 yards in the second half to reach 1,000 yards.
And the Bengal defense manhandled in the first half. Crumry in the middle, 69. He is the key to this defense. However, he's being handled fairly well in the middle of this line of scrimmage. He gets help from the remainder, including number 51, Leon White.
Second down and 6. Rozier, the remaining back. 4 wide receivers. Gibbons in motion. A busted play. Moon went the wrong way.
Someone went the wrong way. It might have been Mike Rozier. Either one. Rozier was looking around saying, "Oh my God, sorry, guy."
And Moon is always saying, "Where are you? Where are you? You were supposed to be over here." The great Carl Lewis has joined us in the booth. We'll get a camera around here on him in just a moment and a chance to say hello. He's living here in Houston and enjoying the game to this point. As soon as we can crack a hand mic and get organized here for a moment, we'll work this in. Yes.
Great.
Do you like the first half?
I love it. We're definitely a Houston Oilers fan, so it was a great time for us.
All right, we'll pick up the next play. Third down. Drew Hill, and he's overthrown. It'll be 4th down. You a big football fan?
Huge football fan. Every chance I get, I come to one of the games, and I'm behind my Oilers 100%.
What happened to him last Sunday night against the Steelers?
I don't know. We're going to forget about that. We're just going to think they're in the house of pain now. That was one little mistake, but they're going all the way to the playoffs.
Have you ever considered playing professional football?
Not really. You know, I was drafted 4 years ago by the Cowboys, but I haven't really considered it. I mean, hey, I can run one straight line and get off the field without being touched and make good money, so that's okay.
All right, great. Thanks for coming by, Carl.
Okay,
great to see you.
All right.
Carl, are you going to run in Barcelona? Let the record show that when I asked Carl Lewis if he was going to be running in Barcelona in the Olympics 4 years from now, he had a startled look on his face. See you, Carl. We have flags down on the field. It was nice of him to drop by.
Yeah, it certainly was.
Disregard the flag. There is no foul. TV timeout.
Oh. All right, we do have a television timeout. The Oilers lead at 24.
Next weekend, the NFL plays here in the AFC's Wild West when the Seahawks battle the LA Raiders.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
Boomer Esiason with only 5 completions of 14 attempts for 44 yards. Just under 12 minutes left to go. Third quarter. Cincinnati trailing by 21. A game completely dominated offensively and defensively by the Houston Oilers. We'll have a flag. One of the defensive linemen was jumping. That was Richard Byrd. If he made contact, the ball had not been snapped, then it's encroachment in 5 yards. He was pulled off, and he was pulled off by Bruce Reimers. Let's check the 10-minute ticker. Is that right? That can't be right. 6-1. No.
No, I don't.
We'll come back with an update on that. Green Bay, in Green Bay, freezing temperatures. Outdoors, Minnesota maybe now used to playing indoors at home. The margin is 7. The Raiders, they have got their problems. Denver plays at Seattle tonight. As you know, the Raiders, Seattle, and Denver all tied for that lead in the West at 7-7. That was this morning, and that tie is going to be broken now. And just slugging his way along is James Brooks, just pulling everybody with him, including Jeff Donaldson, who brought him down, along with Doug Smith, who's in the ball game defensively, 41-yard line. It is second down and 5. 10-6 is that correction on the score. There it is. Chicago 10, Detroit 6. Brooks to the 44, gain of 3. Third down and a couple, and this is your theory. You've got a lot of time. There's 11-11 left in the third, the entire fourth quarter. To give Esiason the opportunity to throw, you've got to establish the run.
I think so, and when you consider what this Bengal offense has done over the past 14 weeks, number 1 in the NFL in offense and the top-rated offensive rushing team in the AFC. And so if they stop running the football, you take away the biggest worry that Houston has about them. That's running the ball.
Short yardage, do you go to Ickey Woods? You do? No, a fake and deep, and it is complete to Tim McGee. A beautiful fake to Ickey Woods. Setting up Tim McGee, 43 yards.
And Boomer Esiason did a great job of hiding the football. Watch him. It's in his left hand. Puts it behind his hip. That's that old thing they used to do about 40, 50 years ago, but he does it extremely well.
Why did you look at me? Why did you look at me when you said 40 or 50 years ago?
And then he's got man-to-man coverage. McGee against Patrick Allen, number 29. Allen gave him the inside of the field. That's a shocking thing for a quarterback to do. Usually in those situations, let him go outside, but don't give him the middle of the field to run to when it's man-to-man.
And Bob Levy, our crack camera crew, had that one covered. Notice the turn away, that's echo. He's changing the play. It's echoing down. Here's Brooks to the outside. He will never get there. Keith Bostic makes the play.
And Bostic has been one of the big reasons why Houston has shut down Cincinnati's running game for most of the day. He's filling very quickly from his safety spot. Sam Weiss may want to take advantage of that by doing a little bit more play action, trying to force Bostic up into the backfield, pulling it away and throwing it downfield.
It is second and 13 at the 17-yard line. For Cincinnati, this is the most important series in the game. They've got to cash in here. They need 7 to get back in it. Riggs, the motion man, all the time in the world. Now the scramble, looking to throw. Running's not going to help. Coverage, incomplete. Collinsworth in the corner of the end zone. Patrick Allen stayed with him all the way. 3rd down and 13.
Watch Collinsworth. I told you earlier in the game, you know, they used to tell you, all right, you're on the street when you're a kid. Go down to the blue Chevy, turn around, I'll hit you. That's what's going on here. Just find a spot and get open in between the poles. And Collinsworth, with his great height, nearly catches that football and stays in. Very few receivers would make it that close.
And Patrick Allen with good recovery, staying with him. 3rd down, 13. Ickey Woods to the 9. Al Smith with the tackle, along with John Grimsley, and Sean Jones was going right after Boomer Esiason.
Yeah, number 96, Sean Jones, just trying to go with the bull rush, and nearly gets to him. Very close to him.
Field goal team comes out. The holder, number 2 quarterback, Turk Schonert. A fake here?
No, I don't think so, Charlie. I think you kick it through and get the points up on the board. They need them.
27-yard attempt. It is good. And the score is now 24-6. Flags are down. One of the officials has lost his cap. Now that's a mismatch when the official is trying to push Joe Walter away at 6'6", 290 pounds.
79 blue.
Somebody better close the mic.
79 blue. That's Ray Childress. And they're going to apply the penalty to the kickoff.
79 on the blue team will enforce it on the kickoff.
We'll be back with a kickoff. To his total.
Well, you know what he's doing, Charlie? He's getting the football deep in the backfield and then choosing his hole. He's got tremendous vision. He also has a wonderful offensive line in front of him. Watch it, though. He gets the football on the right side of the line, but everybody blocks along the line on the left. Munchak, 63. Davis, number 77. And that allows Rozier to make his own cut.
The first series, in the first half, he was doing the same thing. Starting on one side, coming back to the other. He's done it so much, it has to be set that way.
Yeah, and the key to it is getting the football deep in the backfield to give him time to look at the holes in front of him. If you get close to the line of scrimmage, your vision is not as great.
This is Pinkett. And he is stopped first by Jim Scow. So it'll be 3rd down and 2.
Charlie, Cincinnati has gone to a 4-man front. The reason being they're trying to shut down the running attack. That's the way they're going to try and do it.
Alonzo Highsmith checks in. Offensive set. So you look for Warren Moon to throw.
Not necessarily. I think Houston would be content to try and run this football the way they've been so successful with it.
I think they've got 3 wide receivers on the near side and 1 on the far.
Well, it looks like they're gonna, but I wouldn't be surprised if they ran it. Now I would.
Gibbons. To the 36-yard line. Phillips with the tackle. 21 yards. 1st down, converting on 3rd down and 2. Ernest saves Christmas.
Take a look at it. You're right, Charlie. It was pass all the way and actually man-to-man coverage with Givens getting open on the corner. It was Billups, number 24, trying to get over and cover Givens. But Givens has got tremendous quickness and speed from point to point. Lateral movement. He's got tremendous speed in that sense.
1st down at the Cincinnati 36. Oilers on top, 24-6. And here's Pinkett. To the 32-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6. A gain of 4. Crumry making the tackle.
Been relatively quiet today, Tim Crumry. And when you look at this Cincinnati defense, you got to say, all right, how do we run against them? That guy, you got to get him out of there. Double team, triple team, do what you have to do. to make sure Crumry didn't make enough tackles.
And Rozier back into the offensive set. He's the remaining back. Gibbons in motion. Rozier with the draw, jumps to the outside. Gain of 3, third down and 3. David Fulcher, good reaction. He makes the tackle.
Well, that's what they need to do. They went again to the 4-man front to try and take care of every gap in between each Houston Oiler offensive player. And then it's up to the safety, David Fulcher, to get up and make the play at the line of scrimmage.
You're going to mark it for 4 to the 28. So it's third down and 2. Leading 24-6. You're almost in 4-down situation. Where do you go with the field goal attempt here? You're controlling the ball, you being Houston. Gibbons in motion. Running the option. You've seen that a couple of times. This one not effective at all. Loss of 3, so now it's going to be 4th down and 5. Jason Buck makes the tackle. And Zendejas comes in with a field goal attempt at 4th and 5. One for one in the ball game. He's hit from 43 yards away. This will be at the 38-yard line, an attempt of 48 yards. This is within his range. Is it ever? Houston 27, Cincinnati 6. We'll be back with a kickoff. Jennings from the goal line looked down, saw the goal line, and knew that he had to return, and he'll come out to the 19, maybe the 20. On January 22nd, be sure to be with us. We'll start the day with a senior skins game from Palm Springs. Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, Billy Casper, Chichi Rodriguez. I'll be there with Lee Trevino. Then is on to NFL Live, the pregame show for Super Bowl 23, featuring the Talent Challenge, a fascinating competition displaying the off-field talents of some of the most gifted players of the National Football League. And then, of course, it's Super Bowl 23. Did you sing or dance, or would you, if you were playing now, could you qualify for the...
Not unless Don Shula asked me to.
And then you would be a volunteer. We have an injured player. And that is Quentin Jones, the rookie from Pitt, the number 2 draft choice. Clock is stopped. 2:32. Sellout crowd. Earliest sellout they have had this year. This is sold out Monday afternoon and very early Tuesday morning. A check of the ticker of other games. Chicago leading Detroit by 4, 10-6. Green Bay, Minnesota in Green Bay. And again, all the other games, it's sub-freezing temperatures with the exception, of course, the game here. Buffalo still in front of the Raiders. The margin there is 20. Giants, Kansas City, that's getting a little closer. Dallas, Washington now tied at 17-17. And New England continues to lead Tampa Bay by a score of 7-0. And the way that things are
2:32 left in the third quarter. Down by 21 points. They begin that fourth quarter. They got to throw it up all the time.
I think you got to start throwing it up now. Can you wait till the fourth? Can you wait another 2.5 minutes?
For the size, and you can.
Throwing back underneath the coverage to the tight end Holman, Rodney Holman with the reception. He'll pick up the first down. Did he have a man open deep?
Oh, Tim McGee was so wide open. It was incredible. Would have been a tough throw because Esiason would have had to stop and throw way back across the field. But McGee had his hands up in the air, and he's going to the bench saying, "Hey, Coach, I was open." Of course, they always say that, whether they're open or not.
Gain of 15, and a first down of the Cincinnati 34. Pass is complete, a fumble. Houston will have the ball. Are they going to rule the fumble? Yes, I believe so. Chris Collinsworth could not hold on to it. Patrick Allen jarred it loose. No, Meads jarred it loose. Allen recovered it.
Collinsworth made a couple of mistakes here, not only fumbling the football, but also he had enough for the first down. And in fighting for the extra yardage, he really actually lost a couple of inches and then lost the football as well. Zone coverage, you see the linebackers split away. And there's where you lose it, trying to get upfield. And is it a fumble? Yes, it certainly is. The second hit coming in by Meads is what jarred it loose for Allen to pick up.
Houston at the Cincinnati 39-yard line, first down. Moon wants to cash in. Diving reception by Duncan at the 2-yard line.
Curtis Duncan, man-to-man coverage down the sideline. He's one of their 4 wide receivers into the game. Winning on the corner. What a tremendous catch. The problem with trying to catch the football under these circumstances, when you lay out like that, if your elbows come down and hit the turf, the ball pops out. Moon, a happy man, with a tremendous throw right on the money. But as a receiver lays out and tries to catch the football like that, if the elbows hit first, the ball pops out. And Duncan, although he's not have a great deal of experience in this offense, had the presence of mind to pull it in. And a disconsolate Chris Collinsworth.
For Curtis Duncan, that's a highlight film reception. We have a timeout. Warren Moon going to the sideline with 51 seconds left in this period. Today's telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Houston Oilers and the National Football League is prohibited. This game the property of the National Football League, the Houston Oilers, the Cincinnati Bengals, all rights reserved. Why the timeout? You're up 27-6. Of course, then you don't need to, perhaps you don't need to save your timeout.
Well, you're right. Also, people save timeouts, and in key situations like this, if Houston cashes in here, this football game is just about over. Maybe just about over right now. But this is an important time to call a timeout. Go over and say, let's make sure what we want to get done. Saving it for the last couple of minutes when you're up by 21 points doesn't make a lot of sense. Use them when you need them.
Don Maggs and Jamie Williams, the tight ends. First down goal to go, 2-yard line. Rozier, who has scored 2 touchdowns, bumped back outside. Jason Buck and Leon White for the defense. He'll lose a yard to the 3. It's going to be second down goal to go. Now, they can let the clock run all the way down to the end of the quarter. Rozier, Highsmith, and Tillman, the 3 running backs, are in the ball game, and I think that's what the Oilers are going to do. Just go ahead and let those seconds tick away. And we'll try it at the other end of the field. So it's official. After 3, Houston leads it 27-6. We'll be back to the Astrodome in just a moment, right after these messages from your local station. Celebration has started. Rozier has rushed for 118 yards. He has scored 2 touchdowns. Second down goal to go at the 3. Here's Rozier. He can make it. And he does.
This is the 3rd touchdown he scored today, and the 3rd time he's done it just about all on his own. No hold to the outside. The linebacker steps up. Actually, it looked like it was Fulcher, the safety. Seals off the one side, but Rozier has to have enough speed to get back to the other side of the field. I've seen running backs do that. Only the ones with a great speed, and he can afford to leave that football hanging out like that because there was nobody around him.
catcher is he's a little stunned. He's being helped off the field. There he is. 39 yards on the drive in 3 plays. Collinsworth fumble that was recovered by Patrick Allen is what started it all. 14:52. Time remaining in the ball game. Rozier 121 yards, 20 more yards, and he will reach 1,000 yards in this season. And he's calling home. So, Mom, are you watching? I've got the ball. And of course, Collinsworth disappointed. It's been a long, difficult year for Chris. He's been bothered by injuries. And the extra point is good. Houston 34, Cincinnati 6. We'll be back with a kickoff in just a moment. Fourth quarter. We call that a fourth quarter graphic. Here's Jennings from the 1-yard line. And he's going to be pulled down around the 17-yard line. Let's see what's going on around the National Football League in the other ballgame. Detroit now in front of Chicago. 12-10, fourth quarter. Green Bay, Minnesota 16-6. Raiders have scored again. It's 27-14. Buffalo leading that one. New England now at the bottom of the screen. As Titus get the other one's Giants leading Kansas City. Dallas, Washington tied, and Tampa Bay, New England tied at 7 in the cold of New England. Here it is, Houston 34, Cincinnati 6. Here's Brooks to the right side. Out to the 25-yard line. Statistics through the first 3 quarters here.
And there isn't a great deal of change from what we saw at the half, Charlie. The time of possession still strongly on the side of the Oilers. Total yards, the Oilers still dominating that greatly. This has been a game that has not changed much through the first 3 quarters. Cincinnati simply off their game today.
Second down, short yardage. Ickey Woods breaks the tackle. And he moves to the 39-yard line. He'll pick up the first down, a gain of 14 yards. Patrick Allen down. And perhaps now the rushing game's starting to work because time on the side of the Houston Oilers, they just don't want the quick score.
Well, they've got 5 defensive backs in the game, and so it's much easier to run against that kind of a defense. And Houston is perfectly happy to let Cincinnati run the ball and take some time off the clock now.
Here is Brooks. And he goes out of bounds at the 48-yard line. That's good for 9. It'll be second down and 1. Robert Lyles takes him out of bounds. That stops the clock. 13:26. That is the time left with this score. Houston 34 and Cincinnati 6 in the fourth quarter in the Astrodome. Next week on Saturday, Cincinnati will host Washington. We've got a timeout, and we'll be going away. Houston leads it 34-6.
Lose this football game. It's not over for home field yet.
Ickey Woods breaking tackles. And also it means that decisions will not be made until after the games of next weekend.
That's right. The big hole by the by the Cincinnati offensive line. And Ickey doing a lot on his own, picking the hole the same way Rozier did, getting the ball deep in the backfield. But a little bit too late for Ickey Woods to make much of an impact today.
First down at the 44-yard line. Eddie Brown in motion. Brooks to the 39-yard line, gain of 5. It'll be second down and 5. The games remaining that we were talking about, let's take a look at them on the visual. Washington at Cincinnati. Redskins lead the series. 3-1 last meeting in 1985. Cincinnati at home. Washington not playing that well. Houston at Cleveland. Oilers won earlier this season, 24-17. Of course, that was here. Cleveland's at Miami Monday night, so it's a short week for Cleveland. But it's going to be outdoors, and the weather is going to be cold. Ickey Woods. Woods has the first down to the 30, and then to the 23-yard line.
Once again, good blocking at the point of attack. Anthony Munoz, I believe,
yes,
opening hole that time for Cincinnati's offense. Number 78, take a look at him. Down the line against Jones, and all he has to do is keep him going down the line. You see, that kind of blocking allows Ickey Woods to simply take a look find his own hole, and Munoz.
Here's Brooks. Good defensive play by Eugene Seal.
And I'm a bit surprised. Cincinnati have been moving the football down the field. However, they've not thrown the ball, and the clock continues to wind down. Now 11 minutes and 20 seconds left in this contest.
And the 10-minute ticker. There's that final that was just given us. Chicago by 1 over Detroit with 4 seconds left. And the hurry-up offense, the attack mode of the Bengals. This is their personality. And they've been taken out of that personality by great play of the Oilers. Intercepted. Eugene Seal. And Esiason pulls him down.
Eugene Seal, number 53, bottom right part of your screen, 5'9½". The shortest linebacker in football today. Plays a lot in special teams. Watch what he does to Boomer.
I like the head fake.
Straight arm Boomer Esiason. Wasn't going to give much of a head fake. 46 yards on the return for Eugene Seal.
Well, let's see that again. Watch his head fake.
Head fake and a forearm.
Oh, yeah, we'll have it.
Take a look at it again. Esiason just purely makes a bad decision. But watch the head fake. Well, we'll get to it.
We'll hold it right there. We'll come back here. You got to see the head fake. One more time. And here's Rozier, who scored 3 touchdowns, and he'll pick up a couple of yards to the 33. Buck with a tackle.
Here it is coming up. There it is. Then the forearm. Boom, right into the chest of Boomer Esiason.
Rozier, now here's Esiason. This is a pretty good bring down by Esiason.
It is. He's wearing that flak jacket, as you can tell. And
he wanted the tackle, yeah.
He did.
2nd and 8. Moon goes deep. Hill is there. Touchdown.
Warren Moon actually throws this to the wrong side of Drew Hill. Hill makes a tremendous adjustment. He's turned one way, then turns back to the other side, and still has the wherewithal to make the catch and stay into the corner of the end zone. He's now got 10 touchdowns on the season, and that is a career best for Drew Hill.
And add one more point for the Oilers. 41-6. 35 yards on the drive, 2 plays. Eugene Seal set it up with the interception and the return.
Warren Moon may have seen his chances for a Pro Bowl berth slip away last week with a poor performance against Pittsburgh, but he may have won it back here with a strong day. He did throw it to the wrong side there. You see Hill twisting around, but it doesn't matter. He makes the catch and gets the score. You got to wonder about the psychological effect by being beaten this badly by the Bengals. They still have the shot to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs despite this loss. But psychologically, can you recover from being beaten now by 35 points?
Houston recovered from the upset of the Steelers. Now can Cincinnati do it when they go home? Jennings downs it in the end zone. Let's go to New York for an update.
All right, Charlie, 4 seconds to play at Soldier Field. Kevin Butler from 32 yards out. He splits the uprights, and the Bears beat Detroit 13-12. The Lions had missed the extra point, had it blocked after one of their touchdowns. That was the difference in the game. You'll see Lion coach Wayne Fontes agonizing along the sidelines. Wayne Fontes can't believe it. The Bears have won 13-12. Meanwhile, the Vikings are trailing at Green Bay, and if that holds up, Chicago clinches the NFC Central.
And so, like any ordinary next to last NFL Sunday, some clinch and some won't, and some will wait, and some play later tonight and tomorrow. Esiason, who is a left-handed quarterback, rolls right and he'll head for the sideline. He'll go out at the 27-yard line. It's going to be second down and 3 as he scrambles for 7. Giants now big in the fourth quarter over Kansas City. Dallas, Washington still tied. Tampa Bay and New England in overtime in freezing weather. You don't want to be in overtime in freezing weather.
Tampa Bay last week beating Buffalo, playoff team on their home turf.
You saw them. How good are they?
Not very good. Tampa Bay Bucks are not a very good football team right now, but Ray Perkins is doing it with a lot of young people. And by beating a playoff team last week and possibly a team that is a playoff contender in New England today, he's got them going in the right direction.
Brooks is going to lose a yard. Al Smith brings him down at the 26, so it'll be third down and 4. I don't understand this offense. I think down 41-6, you just got to come out throwing.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to be gained by running the football in this situation. And I think if I were Sam Weiss, I'd be concerned about the psychology of it. Losing by this big a score. They come back and score a touchdown or two in the last 9 minutes, and at least you get a better feeling walking off the field.
They stay with the run, and this time it is Stanley Wilson, and Al Smith makes the tackle. We're moving on the 9-minute mark, time remaining.
And what this means...
It's the first down to the 34. Go ahead, Jimmy.
What this means is that Houston still has an outside shot at winning this division title. If they win next week and Cincinnati loses, then Houston will win the Central.
Yes, that is Crazy George. I think he was a former announcer. First down, Cincinnati at their own 34-yard line. Still on the ground. Here's Brooks to the 40. Gain of 6, second down and 4. Meads and Fuller make the tackle.
That's the other concern. Brooks being asked to come out of the football game limping just slightly, but another concern is injury at this stage of a game. When you're down or up by this big of a score, you want to be able to have everyone back for next week's all-important games.
So Stanford Jennings is now the running back for James Brooks. Second down and 4. Wilson stopped by Fuller. Gain of a yard. It's going to be third down and 3. And so Cincinnati's record is going to be 11-4, Houston 10-5, and Cleveland. That's that new blue rinse that has caught everybody's eye down here.
No, that's ZZ Top, the rock group.
Tonight on NBC, the magical world of Disney. Then his family ties day by day, and the Sunday night movie Spies Like Us. Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase starring in the movie. So be sure to join us again tonight here on NBC. Esiason rolling left, sets, throws. He goes to McGee. And just a moment ago, while we're away on commercial, Ickey Woods going to the locker room. This is on tape. We do not have a report. He wasn't limping. And as soon as we get a report, of course, we will pass it on to you. A first down for Cincinnati.
And Ickey Woods coming into today's game had 880 yards rushing, so he's in the mid 900s. He can go over 1,000 next week, and probably is the odds-on favorite for the Rookie of the Year. At least in the AFC, I certainly think
there's some potential Rookie of the Year candidates. We'll come back again with this panel after this play. Wilson, the ball carrier. Grimsley with the tackle. It'll be second down. Let's go back to the panel. John Stevens, New England. Tim Brown of the Raiders, Heisman Trophy winner. Eric McMillan, Thurman Thomas, Brian Blades.
Yeah, but
I got to put some pressure. Who would you vote for?
I'd vote for Ricky Woods. I don't think there's any question about it. He's meant so much to the #1 offense in football today. John Stevens has had a strong year. I think he'd be my second vote.
I would go 1-2. I think you're right. I have a score just in. New England with a 27-yard field goal at the 11:52 mark overtime. This time remaining overtime, and New England defeats Tampa Bay 10-7. Strosky winning another ball game. He lost the Indianapolis game, at least a chance to go into overtime, and the pass thrown to the wrong side of Tim McGee. It is incomplete. He had to turn around. Bostic and Donaldson. Is that a hard move from a receiver standpoint?
To try to turn around? Yes. You know what happens when you're focused on the football looking one way, and then you've got to turn completely around and find the football. And these lights, remember we talked about this ceiling? Hey, they forgot all about them. Tim McGee walked right down the middle of the field, and nobody saw him. He had to turn all the way around, look at the lights at the top of this stadium, and find the football as he's twisting in midair. That's a near impossible catch. One that Drew Hill made, however, just moments ago for a touchdown.
Third down and 10. Cincinnati has converted only 4 of 13 third down opportunities. Here's the draw. Does not fool anyone. Jennings brought down by Doug Smith. A loss of 3 to the 50-yard line, where it will be 4th down. One of the finals that we talked about, Chicago by 1 over Detroit. Fourth quarter, Green Bay still upsetting Minnesota. In the fourth, Buffalo still leading the Raiders, although the Raiders are clawing back. A final, Giants over Kansas City, 28-12. In the fourth quarter, Dallas leads Washington, 24-17. And there's the overtime victory by New England, 10-7 over Tampa Bay. Here, it is Houston 41, Cincinnati 6, with just under 5 minutes left in the ball game.
Houston has its prevent defense in. They're not completely sure that Johnson's going to kick this one away.
And he takes the delay of game. And they bring the ball back to the 45-yard line. Johnson to kick.
Johnson wanted just another 5 yards to try to nail it in the corner before going into the end zone. That's the reason why they took that penalty on purpose.
And it works. It's going to go to the 5, the 4, the 3-yard line. And by the way, we want to wish a special greeting to Ernie Thiel, our technical manager, and all the best of luck. This is his last game with NBC. Ernie's not going to hang around for Barcelona. The rest of us are. Of the top 40 rushers in the National Football League, only 2 running backs average 5 yards per carry or better. Can you name them?
Can you?
Yes, because I rehearsed this earlier, so I know what. Yes, I know what.
Okay.
I know what the answer is.
You do?
Yes. But let's save it and we'll use it after this play.
Okay.
Holding the audience one more time. Houston from the 3-yard line. So there's no end we will go to keep our audience happy. And here's Rozier just for a yard. He now has 124 yards rushing in the ball game.
I got to admit, I peeked too. So.
You did. So, you know. While we were doing that, did you notice that Brent Peace is the quarterback?
Yes, I certainly did.
I saw that.
And it's a good choice. Let's take a look at this and get our facts up.
All right, you may handle this.
The top 40 rushers in the league, the ones with the 5 yard per carry, James Brooks and Ickey Woods, who did not have much of an afternoon here today. Brent Peace coming into the football game. I mean, with the injury to Warren Moon earlier in the game, the Oilers found out
early in the season,
they found out how important Moon is to this team, and with this kind of a lead, no surprise at all that Brent Peace is going to take over.
Is there a surprise that Rozier is still running?
Yep. I think that this is the kind of situation where you put a Lorenzo White in the football game, their #1 choice of a year ago, to find out what he can do, get him a little experience.
Rozier and Tillman are the 2 running backs. And then on the other hand, he could go for 1,000 yards. Yeah, but you got next week. Yes. Time now for our Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser, and this is no surprise. Mike Rozier, now with 126 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards in the first half. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's game.
And we've just received a report that Ickey Woods is having his shoulder x-rayed inside, and we'll try to get a report to you as soon as we can, if we get one before we get off the air.
Piece to throw. And it is incomplete. Haywood Jeffries, the intended receiver. So it's going to be 4th down. And by the way, be sure to stay with us here. As soon as the game's over, all of our television action is not through. We'll have a post-game show. And Gail Gardner, who has been here interviewing Jerry Glanville yesterday to go inside of the national telecast of Saturday's game, and also participating in the pregame show, in addition to adding a little class to our booth, is going to be a major part of that program. So we have some more television remaining this afternoon.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to working with Gail on the 2nd of January as our bold coverage gets kicked off.
There's pressure, and he barely gets it away. And it goes out of bounds. So Cincinnati will have good field position with 2:29 remaining. And they trail 41-6. And will we see Turk Schonert coming in at quarterback for the Bengals? 31 yards on the kick. Next weekend, on Saturday, the national telecast, New England at Denver, and Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen will be there. Mile High Stadium. It's always fun to work at Mile High Stadium. And the doubleheader, Houston at Cleveland. That looms larger and larger with Buffalo at Indianapolis, Miami at Pittsburgh, and the Buffalo-Indianapolis game, of course, for home field advantage. And then Cefalo and Jones at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, Seattle at the Los Angeles Raiders. And that could well be the game that decides who will be the champion of the West. Stanley Wilson as Cincinnati continues to run the ball again. And Ickey is coming back. And since this is a local telecast, and, you know, there has been some things written, particularly about my broadcast partner, and the fact that he and his broadcast partner, that one being me, have an 0-6 record with Jerry Glanville's Oilers. I know that Jerry will be pleased to know that our record now surges to 1-6. But we did not have dinner with it. We had lunch, but not. Here's the report card on the Bengals, and as you look at the individual numbers that interest you, you really have to say, with a defensive line, 396 total yards, and offense that never got going, that today was a failure as far as the report card is concerned. I think it's an F.
Yeah, I give him an F as well, in all forms. Esiason was not effective. The running game, some of those numbers are misleading as Jenkins gets pooped out of bounds. Some of those numbers misleading because Woods got a lot of those yards, 71 on the day, in the 4th quarter when Houston was in that prevent defense.
Well, we're just looking at that shot to see for Linscamp. I'm always leaving that out of mind. That's something that I always do. A loss of 5, so it's going to be 3rd down and 14. And the clock is stopped with the ball going out of bounds with 1:54 left to go in the game. Jamie Williams, better known as Spider-Man here, working with the youth of Houston, drug prevention. Stanley Wilson, Eugene Seal with a stop. And the other report card, this one for the Houston Oilers. And as you pick out the individual numbers that you like, this one has to be an A.
Yeah, it's got to be an A. Moon had an impressive day, 254 yards. And down the bottom is the best part of the deal if you're a Houston Oilers fan. They held the top-ranked offense in the NFL with just 219 total yards.
And here it is 4th down. Five seconds to run on the 45-second clock, and Cincinnati here is just taking all the time possible off of the clock, conceding the victory to the Houston Oilers.
And coaches and players do these things out of habit. You know, with a minute left in the contest, they're worried about kicking the ball out of the corner of the end zone at the 2-yard line to put Houston back in there. And he's saying, hey, guys, I'm only 2 years old, but even I know that if you're down by this many points, doesn't matter if you start from the 2 or the 20. You're still going to win the football game.
Buffalo now has defeated the Raiders. That's the final 37-21. And this ball will be down inside the 5 at the 4-yard line. Clock is stopped on the change of possession, and so the standings, as soon as we finish the game officially here, it will be Cincinnati with a record of 11-5, Houston with a record of 10-5. Cleveland plays at Miami on Monday night, and Cleveland with a 9-5. Of course, they still have the possibility. They cannot win the division, but they can qualify as a wild card. Yes, you have a note?
Yeah, and I'm looking for it. Houston can win the division if they, of course, win next week, and if Cincinnati loses.
Yes.
By virtue
I meant Cleveland could not win the division.
No, you're correct.
Okay.
No, but Houston can by virtue of a better record against common opponents versus.
That's tiebreaker number what?
I'm not sure how it goes down the line.
For
the first one, of course, that's a great shot. Doug Smith. Doug Smith with the Sun.
And he's come back off of a substance abuse program. He's been out for 30 days, and he said, he said, before I was a lot of things, I was Doug Smith. He said, now I am a husband, a father, and a friend.
That's a good start, isn't it?
Yes. Isn't that a great shot? Bob Levy, our record swing there. His son, I believe his name is Jason, his son. Now that's what it's all about. The last snap of the ball game now. Official congratulations all around for the Houston Oilers and Jerry Glanville. Yes, he's coming out to shake hands with Sam as he did last week.
He's done quite a
with
job.
Chuck Noll, the head coach of Pittsburgh.
Exactly, and he's done quite a job. Jerry Glanville did. Getting his team back after a devastating loss, as it has been described.
And now that is the challenge that faces Sam White. We'll be back in just a moment.